Peace. Recording or not, there still might be a couple swear words that pop into there. We'll go down a lot of rabbit holes, just a little preparation for the class. We'll go down a lot of rabbit holes. We'll still cover all the material. If you guys have questions down those rabbit holes, stop and ask, real life situations, etc. Just stop us and we'll go. You'll notice the first session 13 takes a little bit longer because of all of those rabbit holes. And then the next class we kind of breeze through because we'll typically cover most everything that we'll see in that. Anyways, so tell us a little bit about you three that are in here tonight. Who are we working with?
My name's Corey Walker.
Okay,
I've actually been an agent for about almost 5 years. And I just moved over to Keller Williams
welcome.
because I was just, well, I was doing really well, you know, selling with my friends and my family. And then all of a sudden I just died. I'm like, I need a reboot.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
I hear you. Nice. A little reset. Welcome.
I'm Canny. I just got my license yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just like,
Awesome. Love it.
yeah.
How many ignites have you been to?
I don't. She's been the most.
Okay, so you've been coming along. So you're finally learning that all the stuff you learned in real estate school was to pass a test. And now you're learning what to actually do to be productive, right? How about you? How many ignites have you made it to?
I think it's like my fifth. I missed like the first two.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I've been an agent for maybe 2 months, 3 months.
Okay.
I schooled online, RD academics, and then I went to EXP. And that was a little bit too much for me, and it was suggested that I come here and check it out because you have more training.
Gotcha. Why we're here.
And then online, we have Jess.
Oh. Welcome,
and
Jess.
Wes and Chris. Oh, and
And Chris.
Javier's joining.
Hi.
So tell us how long you've been an agent and
Yeah, give us a quick rundown.
introduction.
I've been an agent since September, I believe. I just switched over to Keller Williams from a different brokerage.
Radios Adam Small has details.
The road already has a brake check area and a runway.
Muted.
The local news, I guess.
Okay, Wes, tell us about you.
I've been an agent for almost 2 years. I actually was on a team and went solo. It's been almost close to about a month and a half. And I feel like that I'm finally part of Keller Williams and actually taking advantage of everything that's offered. So it's been refreshing, and I think that it's going to give me a lot more growth and opportunities to be a great agent.
Yeah, and one touch on that, you'll hear a common thing of taking advantage of the training, which again, you guys are here. So that's available to you, but especially in a shifting market. Times get a little tougher, you know, the people that actually lock into that are who's successful, you know, as opposed to the people that go, well, the market sucks. So that's nobody selling houses, right? So you guys plugging in, keep plugging in, like. There's nothing but benefit. Who else do we have online?
Javier.
Javier.
It's driving.
Oh. Okay, then drive.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Good to see you. Good to hear you.
He is on the road. Javier, you just got your license, right? And he's.
Yes, I just got it. Trying to get rid of the job that I have, but I haven't found my substitution yet, so still waiting.
Awesome. Welcome.
All right, thank you.
You just snuck in. Tell us a little bit about you.
My name's Jalen. I've had my license for close to 2 months now.
Awesome.
Working a full-time job currently as well.
Gotcha. Trying to balance both. Not easy.
Gonna make that transition when I can.
Sweet. Well,
This is Wayne,
being here is
Travis.
step in the right direction. So again, chime in. You guys aren't gonna throw us off. If you guys want to talk about something, whatever, feel free. Let's make it a conversation. Let's make it a learning opportunity for everybody up there. You got anything before we get rolling? Can you guys tell who the talker is? And
Hey, Eden.
So click on the PowerPoint. There you go, and now you shut.
they just go to sleep or?
Still nothing?
And it shouldn't be switching the. Okay, try it now.
Cool. All right. Sweet. Okay, so again, as you guys go along, you're gonna hear different terminology, you're gonna hear different things. Now, raise your hand if you've heard anything in here that doesn't sound fun to do. Be honest, okay? That's a problem. Okay, if I talk about lead generation, and you guys are like, say that word again, and I'm gonna wrap a rope around my neck, sorry, no pun intended. But if you hear that, right, you're not gonna wanna do it, okay? The biggest thing that I tell people is with our job, if you're not having fun at it, it's gonna be miserable, okay? You're your own boss. You can make as much money as you want to in this business. But if you're not doing things because they don't sound fun or attractive, switch it up, okay? First thing we're talking about is, well, so you've gone over, lead generation. I hate it. Right? I hate that word. To me, it sounds like putting a headset on and calling and being told not to call them ever again for 8 hours and slamming my head against the wall, right? So I just like to think of it as building relationships, right? I'm cultivating and building those relationships with people that I like to talk to. Okay, and I'm expanding on what we have, whether it be gathering information from them or just simply asking them for referrals or business or whatever. I'm cultivating those, and so I'm building the relationships as we go. Okay, again, if I went in the office and said I'm going to lead generate today for 2 hours, I just leave. I go do something else. Okay, so make it in your mind something that you're willing and able to do. Okay, lead follow-up, you're going to learn that the conversion actually happens in that follow-up. Okay, most of the time you're not converting that client when you first meet them. Okay, as you build and cultivate that relationship, okay, and you follow up on that lead, that's when you're going to start to convert. Okay, so this is starting to be the fun part of the job. Okay, you've already had somebody reach their hand up. Okay, now you're building the relationship there. Anything there? You guys say something for 2 hours. Okay, so it's very important, especially as new agents, or if we get in a drier market. Okay, everybody that raises their hand, you want to get super excited about. Okay, so what we want to talk about today is finding your own qualifiers. Okay, because if you have somebody that's super anxious and raises their hand and they might want to buy in the next 5 years, okay, you need to A, find their motivation, and B, put them on a nurture plan where you're not talking to them every single day. Okay, because the worst thing we can do is go, oh my gosh, I got this buyer, I'm so excited, and you're devoting all of your energy toward them, and they have zero ambition to buy. But they like going out and looking at houses, it's fun. They like talking to you, right? So we really have to, as we talk to them, look at qualifying them. So finding motivate is one. We've done that, right? Because we're following up now. Okay, now we need to talk about ready, willing, and able. Don't be scared to hear an answer that you don't want to hear, and that's why you don't ask a question. Okay, the worst thing that we can do is, when do you actually think you're ready to buy? Because they might say in 5 years. Okay, but if we don't ask that question, we're going to waste a whole lot of time with them. Okay, something to keep in mind. Let's ask them for aha, ready? We just got going. Okay, someone read that for me. Not the person driving.
As a real estate agent is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. Oh, my screen up.
Go back to the Indian. Still dinging. You're really trying to catch it, aren't you?
No, it's not you. Every single person has had issues with that.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, here we are. Okay, sounds simple enough, right? We really don't have a hard job. Okay, and it's not real estate school, it's not knowing the contract in and out. Okay, you can be as smart as you want contractually, but if you have nobody that's saying, hey, I want to work with you, then you're not gonna do anything or make any money, okay? If we simplify this and just realize that we need to cultivate relationships with people that wanna buy and sell from us, and then meet more people that wanna do the same thing, okay? Break it down, make it simple, make it easy. Okay, so finding the motivator. So this is where we have some participation. What myths do you hold about finding buyers and sellers?
Not out there.
Okay,
I've been in my home for 9 years and I don't wanna move.
okay,
If somebody comes to my door and says, hey, you wanna buy a new house and sell this one? No, that's not where I'm at.
okay, I have a homework assignment for you, young lady. I want you to go in and see how many homes sold in the last 30 days in the MLS. Okay, so to believe that real estate transactions aren't happening, there's an abundance of them. Okay. You have to go out and find the people that are buying and selling houses. Okay, but I really do want you to look that up because you'll be staggered at how many houses are closing right now. And you can actually go to NAR's website, NAR's website, or you can just go to UAR's and get local stats, or you can just get them through the MLS. But I challenge you to look at that because it'll be very mind opening. Come to team meeting and see some of the people that are being successful, ask them what they're doing. Okay, a lot of transactions, but that's absolutely something you're gonna hear. What else do we hear? What else tells us that people don't want to buy and sell houses right now? Or that we can't find them?
Interest rates. are high.
Absolutely. We're getting that one a lot, right?
Gotta keep
So,
that
so,
one down.
so nobody's buying houses, right? Because they're too high? False. Right? They weren't buying houses fourth quarter last year. Well, some still were, but right? So it is impacting our market, okay? But the problem is we can load our mind up with all of these things of why nobody wants to buy or sell real estate. Okay, we have to diffuse those ourselves, or we're not going to believe it when we're talking to somebody else. Okay, people are like animals, they smell fear and they smell BS. Okay, if you don't believe yourself that it's the right time for them to buy or sell a house, they're not going to believe it either. Okay,
I think this is the strongest market to stay in front of people. Right now is the most crucial time to stay in front of your entire database. Going slower and everything happening in the world. When everything does turn around or whatever happens, who are they gonna think of? I've been trying to hit my database super hard, everything.
he brings up a really good point. And if we're doing less transactions now, okay, that means we should probably be talking to more people, right? So you want to have a seed in the back of your mind, and how do I grow my database? Okay. I'm a stalker. Okay, I was just telling somebody earlier today, I don't like to do things that I don't enjoy. Okay, so I literally plan how I'm gonna lead generate, lead follow up, all that other stuff off of ways that I like to do it. Okay, or else I wouldn't be in this business anymore. Okay, so like a fun one we're doing right now. You can feel free to follow some. No more massive for the class. Look at the colors, they're so pretty. So like right now, we're doing a summer koozie contest. Okay, is it because we want to see people have koozies and win stuff? No, it's so we can gather their information in a fun way for them to promote us online. Okay, I'm literally paying them for their information. Okay, because information is key. Okay, but what we're doing is when we do it, we're finding very specific ways to make sure we have their address, we have their email address, we have their phone number. He did help me out with the stat. The top 80% that have 200 people or more in their database that actually have a healthy 200 people in their database are doing 80% of the transactions across the country. Close enough?
Close enough, and the agents that are like using smart plans and like specifically marketing to their
Mhm.
database through command, on average in this specific office are making 158 grand on average.
We all want to make minimum 6 figures, yay? Yes or no? Okay, so, but you can't do that without the proper information, right? So we got to figure out how do we gather this information? Okay, and like you said, if somebody calls you and says, hey, I'm a realtor, I'd like your phone number, your email address, and your address for when you're ready to sell a house, you're going to say, I have no intention to move. Why would I give you that information? etc. Right? Feel free to follow us on social media. You guys can see some of the things that we do, but keep in mind that in the back door of that is we're making it healthier. Okay, as they're getting me their information, I'm like, let me know your address so I can get this dropped off to you later. Okay, in our events that we do them all through Eventbrite because it gathers their email address, so I can go in there and grab from there, right? And then I'm gonna send them a thing and say, hey, I wanna text you over your koozie or, whatever. What's your phone number, right? I'm literally just trying to strengthen them in my database, so then I can put them on a smart plan, like she just said, so that I have a healthy database. Command is marketing to it for me, and I'm staying in front of them, as he just said. Make sense? But you have to have a purpose every time you're talking and dealing with somebody. Okay, secondly, you have to have reasons for follow-up, right? We're talking about follow-up. So great, I just talked to them and I got this information. If I leave that be, in 10 years, they're just still sitting back there, right? So we've got to cultivate that, okay? Which in Command, we have our notes, we have our reminders, we have our tasks. Okay, we have everything in there that allows us to make sure that we're interacting with that client. So use the tools. Make sense? Is that on here?
He came to today's class. ChatGPT, pretty cool. Anybody else come to team meeting today?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't know all of it, but ChatGPT is pretty cool. I've had so many times where I'm like, the only reason I don't want to talk to someone is because I don't know what to say. So you literally say, I don't know what to say to this person. I haven't talked to them in a year. Give me an example. It spits it out. You're like, no, I'll make it shorter and more personable, longer and business, whatever. It'll write it for you. So then you just plug it in the email and send it off.
I used it
So
for the first time the other day.
nice.
Yeah, and you don't even have to type.
You don't have to.
You copy and paste.
And it's an easy way to follow up too. And they have, like he was saying today, the open-ended questions are great because you want them to keep talking to you.
You only get 10 questions, right? For the free version, that's what I heard. You want to be open-ended.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Okay. This is statistics on how buyers found their agent. I know it's not programmed right here, but I want an aha right here. Tell me something you see.
Referrals, friends, neighbors, and relatives. SOI, all your people that you know.
So if I were to come into a company and say, I want to run a successful business, where do you think my focus should be?
SOI.
Kind of a no-brainer, right? We get hung up that there's so many things out there. If I have a strong nurtured database and I'm constantly growing it, do you think I'm going to be as successful as the person that runs open houses or waits for website leads? Or happens to trickle in about a property they saw online, like the people that are paying for it aren't actually going to get the leads first. Okay, so this tells me, okay, if I'm going to look at my day-to-day, what's the top 80% thing that I should be doing today? Okay, spend your time where the stats are proven. This hasn't changed in the almost 2 decades I've been selling real estate. Okay, it doesn't lie. The numbers don't lie. Okay, so we talked about opportunities, and I personally don't do a lot of my own command stuff when it comes to this kind of stuff because we have a transaction coordinator. If you don't have one of those, get one. Talk to me after. I'll tell you how to make sure that you get it for free and it works out. But a lot of the stuff you shouldn't be doing. You should be spending your time doing what? Okay. Don't
And there's
spend.
fun ways to do it. Like he said, you don't have to jump on the phone and call them every month. Say, hey, you know what device, buy or sell. We just finished an event. So we called and said, thanks for coming. Now, hey, they need a koozie. So that's our fun way of talking to them all the time. We're gonna drop a koozie off there. We're gonna text them about it. So it's not just asking them for business. This is part of our touches to our database.
What do you have here? So one cool thing too, they finally got our technology right. Okay, about 6 years ago, we thought Gary just stick to telling us how to sell real estate because the whole tech end isn't working at all, right? And we all want to pull our hair out. I actually did. But you can actually start to forecast what your business is going to look like. Okay, if you're nurturing, if you're entering, and if you're actually jumping in and using command. Okay, if anything, time block yourself, give yourself 10 minutes, get in and work on a couple of these different things. Okay, Let command work for you as it goes through. I'm gonna skip Bauhaus for now, but I do want more conversation as we go through, like literally stop me, talk to me, whatever, let's kind of go. So again, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but we're gonna classify, able, ready and willing, okay? That was me. Somebody read this one.
Focus becomes increasingly possible in direct proportion to how clear you are about what you want, when you want it, and what you must do to get it.
We need to find that for our clients. How do we do that? We ask questions. Some of the time we want to throw up way too much and our clients don't want to hear it. Okay, we're never going to find motivation by talking to somebody. Okay, you've got to understand, stop selling myself, ask questions, let them talk. Then you navigate through what they say as they start communicating. They'll tell you, but you have to listen and you have to be not scared to hear what the answers are. So, and again, exactly what I just said, but you're answering questions just to kind of narrow this down. Because again, if you have a buyer that says, I need to be out of my house in the next 30 days. There's my attention, right? There's where my follow-up is, there's where my constant communication is, there's where everything else. Now, you hear somebody that says, I think in like 6 months, I'll have make enough money in my job, I can afford it, I want to see what interest rates do, right? Now we're going to educate them and kind of put them to a different platform, okay? But through asking questions, you need to find that out, okay? And I'm going to stop beating that dead horse. So you can classify these however you want, okay? These are great examples of things that you can use, but use what works for you with your amount of business. Okay, and then just make sure that you have the touches in there. Again, go into command and you literally, okay, I have this person here, this person here, this person here. They're all gonna have different types of follow-up, but they all need follow-up. They all need touches. Okay, you need to stay in front of them. Anything? So we're going to talk about here in just a second. So when you're qualifying a buyer, you can do this 150 different ways. Okay, there's no right or wrong way, as long as you're being efficient and you're getting the job done. Okay, you have an agent right here. Mark's still in this office. I always point there. Okay, Mark Smith. He won't meet a buyer until they come in and have a buyer consultation with him in his office. Okay, is that how you guys do your business? No. Okay, we don't do that either. I'll meet a fresh buyer, he'll meet a fresh buyer, we'll meet them at a property. Okay, we've learned that we can close better face to face in a property and find motivation while we're at that property. Okay, so you need to find whatever works for you. Ladies, I advise don't meet new buyers at houses without somebody on the phone, without somebody to come with you, etc. Until you get a chance to screen them and check them out. There's 2 videos. So this buyer sheet, okay, you have that in your pamphlet there. Manipulate it to what works for you. Again, I come from unconventional. If you don't have a system, use this system. If you have a system, tweak it. Make sure that you have everything in here that is pertinent to you and your business. These questions, okay, go right back to where we talked about earlier about finding their motivation. Okay, everything you're doing here is finding their motivation. If they won't give you any information whatsoever, you haven't built a relationship yet. Do you not have this form in your night book? Okay, yeah, it's in there. So use these things, flag it, but just again, make it your own, digitize it. Okay, whatever you need to do. But ultimately, your ultimate goal, whether it be a Google Doc, I don't care what it is. Your ultimate goal is to start to gather information. Okay, if you're too scared to do that, you need to come back and reset your head. Okay, you need to get in the inquiry stage. Something as basic as this. Okay, again, side note. So let's say an open house. Okay, an open house. Your ultimate job is to get information. What's the first thing that people do when they come in an open house? I don't want to talk to you, and I don't want to fill out your stupid form. I want to see the house. Right or right? Okay? So we get an open house and we're like, you're gonna tell me to piss off? I'm gonna fill my form out. What do I do here? Right? We have to open that door. Same thing. You walk into dealers, okay? As soon as you walk in the door, is there anything I can help you with? No, piss off. Okay? 2 seconds later, that guy go. I have a question. Right? We have to be aware of this, and we have to understand how their buyer works. So for example, we have a sign-in sheet at our open house. We stand there and we let them know the seller wants to know who came through their property. Would you please mind filling this out for them? Before they get ready to write, we say, and we actually have a couple other houses coming on the market in the next week that might be of interest to you if you came to this open house. If you actually put your correct information down there, we'll shoot those over to you. We do those to all the people that come to our open house. Okay, does that not then make them go, no, maybe I will put the right, or they'll laugh, okay? I'm a firm believer, you can say anything as long as you have a smile on your face. Okay, so I'm gonna call them out, and I'm gonna make them think, I'm gonna make them make a decision. Okay,
Do you stand at the front door?
no, we'll usually have them in just a little bit. Sometimes we'll team up too, so that way there's kind of someone stationed there, so that we can actually see what's going on. Okay, another one that we'll do when we're at open house, because we're being purposeful, okay? I'm not at an open house to spend 2.5 hours away from my family, or not doing something that I enjoy doing. Okay, sole purpose is to try to pick up a buyer there. It's not even to sell the list, okay? It's for me to pick up a buyer, that's what I'm doing. Another thing that we'll do is we'll just say, hey, you know what, we actually ran out of flyers, but I can send you the link to the house just in case you have any questions as you're going through it or curious about square footage. What's your phone number? I'll just text that over to you real quick. Okay, you put people on the fritz, they're gonna give you the right information. Okay. Another one that we use, and again, it's information gathering as opposed to, as she mentioned before, right? Like, if you're stonewalling somebody, you're not gonna wanna give them your information. Okay, if you don't get any information, you wasted your time out there. So another one is, hey, this house actually qualifies for, because it's a Keller Williams listing. It actually qualifies for KW mortgage, which actually can save you like $9,000 in closing costs on this property. You still get the same competitive rate, but they've saved closing costs. We just trying to figure out something that we can save you guys some money and add value to the experience with this. Actually, what's your phone number? I'll just text you over the app real quick, and you can actually check out KW mortgage while you're in there.
Is that true?
100%. If you haven't looked into KW mortgage, do it. It's on the app. We've used it personally. We've sent clients to it. You can do it for refinances. You can do it for purchases. There's a little bit of fuzzy language, but it's no BS. Like, it truly is pretty much a free closing cost loan.
So how do you save $9,000?
Because they don't charge you closing costs. Gary Keller came out and said, you know what? We have all these discount brokerages, but I believe the agent should get paid in the process. And he came up with Keller Morgan. And so I don't know how the back end stuff works.
They don't have any overhead. There's like no brick and mortar or anything, so they can keep their expenses like as low as possible, so there's no like.
Oh, it's all online.
It's mostly online. I mean, you work with an actual lender who is here locally, like you have somebody specifically that you're working with, but they just kind of like work in their own place, but they're not like, they don't have huge buildings that they're paying for, they don't have like a whole like huge staff, they like keep their machine lean, I mean, because that way they don't have to charge that much.
I'll look into it.
But use these tools. And again, you want to be able to create being the resource for your friends and family, right? Because we already learned that that's who's going to send you the most amount of business. So obviously, we're not really in a market right now. Hey, you want to refinance your house, right? Because most of the time they're probably going up in interest rate. But it's just a nice tool to have. Oh, you're buying a house right now and you think the interest rates are too high, right? Well, guess what? When they do dip a little bit and you want to refinance, you can actually jump right back in and use Keller Mortgage again and do that refinance and save yourself the money so that you're not tacking on a whole bunch of money to the back of your loan when you do refinance. Okay, you're just being a resource. But again, the whole purpose, again, when I'm meeting somebody, I'm just getting their phone number. Okay, if I literally say, let me send that to you right now, what's your phone number? You're going to give it to me, right? So you just keep in mind, and you have to be purposeful and confident in doing it. Okay, again, if you're scared to do it, they're going to sense that and they're going to give you your own number. And then it's going to be super awkward because you're going to hit send and be like, did you get it? And they're like, uh-huh. Okay. Anyways, just keep that in mind and be prepared for it, like practice. another thing that Gary Keller says is when we go out and meet these people, right, that's the game. Okay, you don't make it to the Super Bowl by showing up to the Super Bowl. Okay, it's all the work that you put in prior to that. Don't show up and think you're gonna be able to pull off and be like, oh, remember what that guy said at that one at night class? Totally using that today. Because you're gonna get halfway through it, you're gonna trip over your words and you're not gonna be confident, they're not gonna give you any information. Okay, practice doing it. We're gonna skip role play, FYI. Give me 3 ahas and we'll move on. Quick story about ahas, while you guys are thinking about that. I taught a class once and I kept asking for ahas and I was getting 0 response. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it wrong. I don't have any questions. Why haven't they learned anything yet? Like, have I just wasted my time? And finally, someone raises their hand from the back row and they go, what's an aha? And I'm like, makes sense now, okay?
There was a Keller Williams.
It's on the app. Do you have the app? Yeah, play in there. You can see on there. You want to be very comfortable with sharing the app and then being knowing where it is so you can tell them exactly. Yes.
That 47% of buyers and sellers are through referrals, friends, family. That's good to know.
Right.
I'm like trying to make smart plans for like other people. No, let's focus on that right now. Get them set up.
So I love that you said that because until you have this dialed in, you shouldn't be worrying about this. Okay, I have like 2,500 people in my database. Okay, they're not all the same. And I can't treat them all the same. I wish I could, but I can't. Okay, so it's that top 20% first, then we build that up and out from there. Okay, once they're dialed in, I got smart plans, I have all their information, they have healthy scores in there. Okay, now I'm starting to expand, whether it be within my own database or adding people into that database. One more.
I noticed
that
not very many people reuse the same real estate. Like that dropped a lot. But just kind of like once I can, follow up with them for trees and birthdays and everything, make sure some contact them.
It's not, it's not because the client was unhappy with the agent, because the agent just didn't follow up. That's the rest of the fact. It's great.
Some others you got there.
They were happy, yeah.
And got the deal.
Did we have something online?
Yeah, I have one. I liked when you said that having an open house and having researched homes that are similar. So when they come through, if this one doesn't meet their needs, you have several others that could meet their needs and you'd like to show those to them. And your statement of an open house, the purpose of that is to pick up buyers. That's why you're there. I like both those.
I want you guys to put the words intentional and purposeful in your brain. Because everything you should be doing should be going about that. As I told you guys earlier, I'm a stalker. Okay, what I mean by that, I go to a party or a barbecue, I talk to somebody, I'm now finding out, I'm friend requesting them. As we're talking, do you rent or do you own? Oh, cool, what city do you live in? Guess what? Because you don't want to ask for everything, right? Hey, I just met you, will you please fill this out? I want to know everything about you, right? They're gonna say, okay, creeper, okay. But then what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll go, oh, remember that guy Tony that I met at that barbecue? Super cool guy. We got along really well. We're friends on Facebook now. And he said that he owns a house in Roy. And so I'm going to go to the county records and I'm going to stalk him and I'm going to start to add him to my database, right? Because as much information as we can have as possible is our biggest ammunition, okay? But we need enough that we can have tools there, but we don't want to ask them everything. So we want to manipulate ways to find things out so that we don't have to ask them everything. And then we build on that, okay? 2 more things. So ahas give me the biggest rabbit holes, but guess what? You're gonna have a really good learning experience out of it. Okay, what you said as far as people using you again. 2 things on that real quick. So one thing, when I sell a listing, okay, I add the buyer into my database. Okay, so they get my mailers, you know, I don't have a ton of their information, but I get what I can. And about probably 8, 9 years ago, something like that. I got a phone call. And this guy, he says, hey, my name's so-and-so. I think you were the listing agent on this house that I bought in Clearfield. Here's the address. I said, yeah, I absolutely know 100% who you are. And he said, well, I get your stuff in the mail all the time. I haven't heard from my realtor since he sold me the house. And I'm just curious, I need to sell this one. Can you come over? And so I get this huge grin on my face. And I'm like, what a jackass, right? And so I go out there and he's like, yeah, so I've got to sell this one. Oh, and actually my girlfriend has one that she has to sell up in, it was like in the Morgan area. And then we're actually going to buy one together. Okay. All of this by me staying in front barely of this other client. Now I have the flip side of that.
That's the thing is everybody, there's all these other agents attacking your SOI at the same time, so you have to be.
Intentional and different. You have to be their friend
Yeah,
also, not just their.
This one's going to sink in. Is that a lot of money?
for what? A house?
A year? No, for
Oh.
commission.
That's it.
You don't want to make that right? Okay, every year my December mailer that I send out is a Christmas card of my family. It's not work whatsoever. But in years past, after Christmas, I'll get these return to sender things. And so the year before last, like not this year, suckers, I'm going through my whole database that I mailed to, and I'm verifying all of them. When I got done, I had no wind in my sails whatsoever. I found, I believe it was 26 people bought or sold houses without using me. That's the commission I missed out on from those people. Guess what? I didn't keep them healthy in my database. I didn't have a follow-up plan. I assumed that they do business with me again because I'm cool. Okay. Very important, okay? Keep in mind, that's only one side of the transaction. They sell, they're typically up by, we're talking over $1 million. That's not in my bank account. Because I assumed that because I'm cool, that they were gonna work with me again. Okay, I didn't realize this until actually me and Rusty were talking to somebody and I was telling the story. And she goes, just curious, what's your average commission? So I told her, and she goes, how many transactions is that? And she looked and she showed the guy that we were in there with, she goes, I don't think you want to see this number. And she showed it to me and I'm like, you idiot. All I had to do was be a little more purposeful and intentional after closing. And look how much more money I would have made. Okay, just let that absorb because you dismiss so many things. And like you said, everybody's out there trying to get them to do business with you. Okay, they're going to work with who they like and trust and who's in front of their face.
Purposeful and what?
Who intentional.
I write that down or I'll forget it.
Do stamp it on your hand, get a tattoo, purposeful. So, but bear in mind that it's little things, okay? But you have to just make sure that the purpose and intent is there. And then the last thing to that is bringing them value, okay? As you said, you don't want to talk to a realtor because you have no intentions to sell a house, okay? Can you refer me somebody? Can life changes happen to you? Absolutely. Okay, I'm probably going to hell because I get a little grin on my face when somebody says they're getting divorced or somebody just passed away. Because to me, I think that somebody's selling the house, okay? Kidding a little bit. But life, things change. People lose jobs, okay? People have to move, which is why in any market that's ever been out there, people are buying and selling homes. Okay, so to get out of your head that people aren't gonna do it is crazy. But just stay in front of as many people as possible. Okay, let's move on. That was a big round. I think I sleep too long, I guess. Is it just go to bed? Is that what it is?
That's what you didn't even count the referrals again. Every person in there is gonna give you one referral. Should you? Doubles the money.
Yeah, how many times do we see a for sale sign or we get that phone call that I've had before and it's hey, guess what? I just bought a house and you're like, cool. hit mute real quick and scream out the car window, right? They want you to be happy for them, okay? It's because you didn't do your job, okay? You weren't in front of them. You weren't top of mind, and you didn't add them any value. Again, the slides go quick because I kind of know what's coming, and so I talk down the rabbit holes around those. Keep in mind what you want to set up, okay? So 19, 36, 50, 100. Okay, there's teams and agents out there that do touch plans that are through the moon. Okay, and then there's some that do the absolute basic, and those are the results that you get. Okay, so just keep in mind when you're setting up, how am I going to communicate with my database? Okay, make sure one, it's reasonable and you're going to do it. Okay, if you say, I'm going to call 40 people in my database a day and have conversations. And in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, just kidding, okay? You need to set reasonable expectations for yourself and for your follow-up plan, okay? If I say, and everybody's different, okay? You may need to call 10 people a day, you may need to call 2 people a day. Whatever it is, make sure it's reasonable and it meets your goals, okay? And it meets what you're willing to put in and give right there. Easiest ways in the world. Eden, how many office events does the office have a year?
Ornaments?
4. Quarterly call. How hard is that? Come play with me, come hang out with me. Okay, 4, there's your 4 quarterly calls, piece of cake, okay? You should be reaching out to them at least 3 times prior. Hey, I have this event, we'd love for you and your family to come. Hey, I noticed you did or did not RSVP yet, are you guys able to make it? Okay, can't wait to see you tomorrow, there's 3. Oh, I just made my phone call. So excited to see you guys tomorrow. Whatever it is, easy phone calls. Who can't have that phone call? Okay, because we always think that we have to call and say, you know anybody that's looking to buy a phone? Hello? Right? That's how we think of calling people, of cultivating things. Okay. Now, after the event, thanks so much for coming. Sorry I missed you. However, the phone call has to go. Hey, here's some pictures from the event I wanted you and your family to have. What's your email address so I can send those over? What's your cell phone number so I can text those over? Depending on, right, I'm being purposeful based off of what piece of information I need. Okay, I'm building that. I'm also adding value. If you did nothing but do the 4 events and put 6 to 8 touches around that. Okay. 8 times 4, that's 32 touches. Not a bad start. And you can completely go from that. And the office gives you all the marketing material anyway that you need for it. Okay. So don't think that there's no way I can communicate with my database. Okay, I don't care how big your database is. If you have 500 people in there, if you break it down properly and hold yourself accountable, you can properly communicate with them. Okay. One more quick thing on that. So another thing that Gary Keller says, he knows a thing or two about real estate, in case you guys haven't noticed. But he says you should get a 10% return on your investment. Okay, so again, your goals are different than my goals. Your goals are different than your goals. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to calculate those goals, and this is one quick way that I do it. Is I say, I want to close 10 transactions this year. The first thing I'm going to say is, do you have 100 people in your database? Do they have healthy scores in there, and are you properly communicating with them? Okay, that's where I'm going to start. Okay, if not, figure out how to do it. Okay, do I need to call 2 people a day? Do I need to send an email? You know, what do I need to do to make that happen? But that's my starting place. Okay. Am I asking for business? Am I asking for referrals? Okay, again, pre-listing questionnaire. Some people like this, some people don't. Some people will not go to a listing appointment until they have every single box on that answer. Okay, you'll see it more and more with some of the mega teams and whatnot, but it's really each person's particulars. Regardless, you should have some form of information before you show up to the door. Okay, this is great start. If you have all this information, you know exactly where to direct the conversation to. Okay. Point is,
So it's showing somebody a place.
no, so this is pre-listing. So this is somebody's raised their hand and said, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house. Okay, great. How'd you hear about me? Who referred you to me? Okay, easy questions. Where are you gonna move? What's motivating you to move there? So. Another word I hate, scripts. Hate it. You tell me to say a script, I'll tell you to. I'm recorded. If you tell me to say a script, I'm gonna tell you you're up in the night, okay? This was my mindset up until like 8 years ago when I came back here. And I had somebody call me out and I wasn't very happy at the time. I said, I don't do the whole script thing. I'm real with people, I talk to people, I have conversations with people, and that's why people like that. They go, interesting. And then I was teaching a class. They said, hey, you know what that was? And I go, what? I said, that was a script. No, well, this is how I talk to my people. He goes, yeah, it's embedded in your brain. You're looking to get a result. You're looking to get something from that. And you're saying it for a purpose. It's a script. And I'm like, suck, but I don't do scripts, right? So again, get it out of your head that it's there. Because to me, what's motivating you to move there? Okay, to me, it just sounds like a dumb script. Okay, find a way to word that where you can get the same result, the same answer, but it sounds like you. Okay. Rabbit hole. Have you guys heard of Bold?
Probably not yet.
Okay. Keep your eye out when it comes around. Okay, it's kind of like a boot camp for real estate. I took it 15 years in the business. I went in there and I'm like, nope, not for me. Very first day. They taught us a script. And then he said, okay, you got 15 minutes. I want you to go out and call as many people as you can and say that script. And I bolted to my truck. Okay, I've sold hundreds of homes at this time. And I bolted to my truck. I'm like, not happening, dude. So I'm sitting out there and I'm like, kind of scrolling through my phone. I finally hit it and I'm like, all right, I can do that. And I got voicemail. I was like, yes. Well, I was ready. I'm okay. So I picked it up and called another one that answered. I'm like, oh crap. So I went through it and I fumbled it just a little bit. Okay. And they went on the other end of the line. They're like, oh gosh, let me see who I can think of. Right? Because it's hard. Like you're asking, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate? Like, and then it's a fun script behind it. It's kind of like a game. And I was like, that didn't kill me. And then we went in the class and part of the class, you have to make 20 contacts a day. Well, me being a realtor, like all of the other ones, I procrastinate. Okay. So then all of a sudden it's Friday and I've got 100 people to call. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take it serious. Okay. So I made my phone calls. The next week, I had my sheets. We were actually going on vacation. I remember we were going to Island Park. And I was like, kids, iPads, headphones, quiet. Wife, please drive. Don't hit me when I'm on the phone. So I put my headphones on and I just started making my calls. I was filling my sheets out. This was like September. I don't know, it was early fall. When December hit, at this time I had nobody working with me, individual agent, no transaction coordinator, I did everything myself. And I closed like 13 homes in December. Okay, I made well over $100,000 in the month of December, which nobody sells real estate in December, right? Everything else, all these other things that you can make yourself believe. And it was all the inner workings of everything that I had done prior to that. Okay, it was using a script, but it was making it my own. It was having fun with it. Okay, and then I actually got really good at it. And I could actually hear them pause on the other end of the phone when I asked them if they would help me. Okay. So a lot of it is just beating these negative things out of our head.
You give us a scenario.
Okay, that might be a little rusty. I haven't used it for a minute. So basically it's, hey, Gidget, how you doing? It's Blaine over here at Keller Williams. Okay. Hey, do you have just a second? I was just wondering if you could help me. Okay, what I'm looking to do is we're actually having a contest down here today at my office, and I'm wondering, who do you know that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate this year? Great. Can you get back to me? I don't have a lot of time because I'm actually trying to find as many as I can right now because I want to win this contest. But as soon as you think of somebody, will you send them over to me? Great. Thank you so much. Okay. It works. Guarantee it. Okay. Here's the funny thing. When I say, will you help me? When you're driving down the road and your radio stops playing in your car, what's the first thing you do? You everything that you're doing stops, right? You're like, what just happened? Right? That's what's doing to them if you're using the phrase right. And I'm not going to go down a whole scripting class. Okay. But if you do it with intention and you're purposeful while you're doing it, it will grab their attention. Okay, last thing on that note, I was the productivity coach out here one time, and we were meeting in the front conference room. And I gave them the help me script, and I said, and by the way, nobody's leaving this room until we all make this phone call and it's on speaker and you get a live person on the other end of the phone. I've never seen a room goes white in my entire life. So I said, watch, I'll do it, unscripted. Pulled up my phone, slid it, hit send or hit call, put it on speaker. I did the script. The guy goes, yeah, I got this buddy moving up here from Salt Lake, blah, blah, blah. I want to, like, it looked like it was planned, like I had called this guy before class. Okay, secondly, I'm going, hey, idiot, I've known you for 30 years. I'm your realtor. You send me referrals. Why haven't you sent them to me yet? Right? Like, that's what I'm thinking, but it's because I haven't called and asked it. Okay, everybody did it in that room. Nobody died that day. Okay, just so you know, you can do these things and not die. Okay, anything on that?
What I'm afraid of is dying of embarrassment.
Confidence, purpose. Okay, what do you gotta have behind there?
Once you provide enough value, you won't feel weird calling and asking. Usually people, I mean, personal, I feel weird calling someone that I haven't provided enough value to. That's the only people I feel weird calling.
You know what the funny thing, everybody's follow-up to that was when I'd see them? Hey, did you win that contest? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, that, I'm like, oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, thanks, man. Right? And I've used it again on the same people 4 or 5 times since. Every time I get great results.
Wait, it's a contest of who can sell the most houses or?
It's a contest of whatever the crap you want to make it be. I'll call people and I'll say, hey, me and my brother have a contest. And he's my younger brother, so I have to beat him. So I need to know, who do you know looking to buy or sell a house? Okay, you tweak it. Okay, but at the end of the day, I'm still asking, who do you know?
And there's always a contest.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a contest.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And people do, and people want to help you. Okay, you gotta get that out of your head,
I want to help people.
right?
I want, they want to help me.
Where are we back here? It's going backwards. Okay, we're gonna go down a little bit. I think we're back. Yeah. So, use these for cues or just anything else you have. I want one from everybody though, before we move on, please. You gotta participate, sorry, guys. If you can't communicate with me, you're not gonna communicate to your database,
Give him a
That
how you have to
was
close it.
given.
right?
by Ken. Ken told me that just the other day,
Told you what?
that nobody's gonna die.
Right,
You're gonna be fine, nobody's gonna die, just move on.
right.
We all
There's
die.
only one way you're gonna learn too, is by doing it.
Yeah.
I have I think that's a great idea to make when you're listing a house, to add the buyer's contact info into your database.
Yeah.
'Cause you say that buyer's agent's not gonna be there for them when they want to sell.
Stats show it.
So that's what I'm gonna start doing.
Next,
I really like the contest phone call, because I think it's kind of easier for the active.
and if one of you send them my email address.
I have the
Okay.
Holy script.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Practice it, have fun with it, and literally. So here's one thing. You show up to your office, okay? I want you to think about this. You show up Monday through Friday. Friday, you walk in the bathroom and you look at the mirror. And ask yourself, would I hire that person again to come back to work next week?
Okay.
Right?
Trustee,
So what I'm thinking as I'm going through this is if I can't have fun and use this script and call 2 people a day, 5 people a day. Okay. Would I be proud of myself looking in that mirror that I did my job? Okay. One more quick aspect as we're stay on that deep note. I want you to think, who has kids in here?
sorry.
Okay, kids, spouse, family members, anybody counting on you? Last thing, think instead of looking in the mirror and asking, have them think if they had a camera and a microphone on you, what you were doing through your productivity and what's taking you away from them for that time, would they be proud of you? Okay, I bet we could all be a little bit more purposeful. Right? Okay, I need 2 more ahas. This middle row's too quiet. Need some Red Bulls in here.
I like how you said that if you're providing value to your database, that it makes it easier for you to talk to. Right?
You pick
Makes
up the
it-
sales.
yeah, you becomes more awkward, I guess, for you to call them. But I guess that could drive you to always keep giving your database value.
Right. Yeah, and providing value is easy. Providing value is inviting them to an event. Right? That's easy. Providing value is sending them an email that says, hey, Snow Basin has concerts every Sunday. Did you know about these? Here's the program schedule for the summer. Blues and Brews. Okay. Providing value is easy, but you have to be intentional.
I just barely got my license. I'm not gonna use that as an excuse.
Okay?
The idea of calling people that you already know, you
Mhm.
know, that makes it a lot easier for me. You know, you're asking them then.
100%.
And if you don't call them, somebody else will.
Yeah. Yeah, stay in front of them.
One of us might call them. You better call them.
And I have the help me script, so that was on the email.
Anything online? I say online. Yes, online.
Can you help me? I think that's important. I like that one. Can you help me? Do you know someone?
Yeah, take the script when she emails it to you. Don't cut it up too much, though. Get comfortable doing it. Okay, practice in front of the mirror, practice in front of a spouse, you know, whatever it is, practice in front of very close family members. But don't dilute it too much, because you're scared to say things that are in there. There's a purpose behind that script. Real quick, we've kind of been touching on this. And I've said this 100 times already. We all have our own goals. Okay, if I were to sit you guys in here and say, everybody have 20 conversations every day of the week. Everybody have 15 contacts added to your database. Everybody have 25 handwritten notes, right? Half of you are gonna say, I don't have that many people to talk to or write hand notes to, right? Or you're gonna say, I have another job right now, and I really honestly can't dedicate that kind of time to this. Or, you know, we all have our own excuses of what it fits, but what you have to do, again, and I've said this before, is be real to yourself, but have that system, right? Where's my highest productivity? Okay, it's talking to people. Okay. Do I need to call 2 people a day? 5 people a day? Like, what is it? What's a realistic number? And then hold yourself accountable to it. Okay, or have somebody else hold yourself accountable to it. Accountability partners are not a bad thing. Okay, as you meet people in here and, you know, newer agents or, you know, agents that are hit a bump in the road or something like that, have somebody hold you accountable. I never picked up the phone and called and asked people, who do you know? Never in 15 years of selling real estate. Okay, my result was 13 closings in December. Guess what? I still had about another 9 closings that rolled out throughout that year that just trickled down from my follow-up. So keep it realistic. Again, adding to your database, very important. Okay, now that I've had the help me, who do you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, hey, who do you know that I should know? Okay, how do I grow? I like you. Who's more people like you that I should be in relationships with? Okay, constantly trying to find, stalk people. Be careful. Cameron knows people love him, right? He does these all the time. You always get a response from it. People still like the old school geek. They like you just thinking.
They just stalked 2 people waiting in line to get rodeo tickets at 6 o'clock Saturday morning. Made 2 friends. One of them gave me a number from my app. I looked up, found him, found his sister who was there also, found both of them, wrote both a big old thank you. And I'm sure something will come of it.
Stalker, purposeful.
I might.
Yes, I
I don't
remember
know
this,
if I- I don't know if I did all this, but
Recorded, so BTCPA compliant.
Thank you. Read the asterisk. No, you really do have to follow the rule. We're not, the brokerage isn't gonna get in trouble anymore, you are. Somebody,
I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution. People are happy to be in a relationship with me.
contribution, adding value, being purposeful, right, being intentional. Okay. I'm not just gonna make a phone call, like, hey, Bill, how's it going? Okay, another way that you can be intentional, we get a cheap huge now, okay? Scroll their Facebook. Hey, I saw Joey just broke his leg, is he doing okay? Hey, you just went on a trip to Mexico, I've been dying to go there, where did you go, how did you like it? Are people not just gonna start to throw up information back at you? Okay, stop them, be prepared for that phone call, be prepared with what you're saying.
Use other than stock.
Obsessive follow.
Have some synonyms for stock.
We'll work on that. But I mean, when I'm peering through the bedroom window, trying to get the email address, I mean, I don't know what other word to use. Hi, Dave.
Better wait for stop.
He's out, he went like this.
He's out of stock. Okay, so let's just start the same one. Okay, here we go.
No, I have to.
Oh, you have to start it.
Do you guys want a 5-minute break?
Yes, take like 7, but be back and ready to go. Catch up your phone, restroom, drinks, whatever you need to do. But we're gonna rock through this next one even quicker.